Welcome everyone. My name is Sean, and today we're doing a bit of a throwback story back to the years gone past when I used to do a series in conjunction with the David Horowitz Freedom Center on indoctrination in our K-12 schools. And one of the major premises of that particular series was the fact that they would prioritize indoctrination over education. And no example of this philosophy could be greater than this program that is legitimately called woke kindergarten. $250,000 being spent in a failing school of federal tax dollars, by the way, in the state of California to teach kids about left-wing political causes. And of course, their scores suffered dramatically because this was already a school district suffering from low test scores in terms of math and in terms of reading. We got to get into this. We're going to break it down. But before we do, I want to say thank you to everybody who signed up over on actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money, okay?
And thank you to the podcast listeners, Spotify, Apple, and Google's podcasting platform. So first of all, I got to give credit to the San Francisco Chronicle. They're the ones who broke this story. They're the ones who broke down the fact that this money was being spent, that it was federal money, and they examined the test scores of the school district in question that implemented this program that was supposedly going to decolonize education and teach the kids to fight against whiteness, and they pulled out the fact that this school is getting worse in terms of their test scores. They were already struggling, but now they're doing significantly worse because now they're not even focusing on education. A California school district spent $250,000 of federal tax dollars on a woke kindergarten curriculum for young children, according to this report in the San Francisco Chronicle. At the time, most of the students were failing to achieve grade level competency in reading, writing, and math, and as we're going to find out, that got significantly worse. Now, it's important for you guys to understand that even though this is called woke kindergarten, it actually is something that is being applied to all of the different grade levels in their elementary school. So you have 1st through 6th grade learning these programs, learning this ideology, rather than actually learning to read, write, and do arithmetic, because who needs that? That's just white supremacy. And the Chronicle piece goes on to detail some of the things that were being infused into the curriculum. And you could understand when a kid can't do math, how this is not going to help them do math. The teacher training provided by the group, which taught anti-Israel, anti-police, anti-American messaging, and apparently told the teachers that they were meant to disrupt whiteness in school, was paid for by using a federal program that was supposed to help low-performing schools.
Yes, everyone, the rumors are true. I am anti-Israel. I am pro-Palestine. And I am 100% 10 toes down anti-Israel. I believe Israel has no right to exist. I believe the United States has no right to exist. I believe every settler colony who has committed genocide against native peoples, against indigenous people, has no right to exist. I believe in a free Palestine, from the river to the sea.
Now, what you just saw right there is actually the founder of this particular program, the creator of the woke kindergarten program, the person who received $250,000 of your federal tax dollars in order to implement this program in this California school district. She is somebody who not only believes that Israel has no right to exist, which I understand that some people, some portion of my audience would probably agree with that, but for the same reasons, she believes that the United States of America doesn't have any right to exist, and this was a prominent focus of this particular program. It was all about, oh my god, the natives and the Palestinians, and oh my god, the evil European colonists, this evil white supremacy, and all that. And considering the issue at hand in this particular school district was the fact that you have a large portion of the district that doesn't speak English, they are of Hispanic origin, a large portion of the district that can't do math, are failing at extremely high rates. This stupid anti-colonial, anti-Western, anti-white programming in the public schools does not actually address those particular issues. And again, this federal program was meant to help low-income schools, so what's ending up actually happening as a result is that they're indoctrinating an ever-growing dumber population of future students into these anti-Western values, and these are the people that they hope to raise up at one point in time to block your roads, block your traffic, riot, destroy things, join organizations like Antifa. They just want to start them extra early. Now, the Hayward District Superintendent, who actually used the federal money in order to pay this organization, told the Chronicle that woke kindergarten was hired to boost attendance rates and eliminate suspensions, not for its political content. Now, Riemann claims that the school has seen improvement in those areas because only 44% of the students were considered chronically absent last year, the article said, compared to 61% the year before. Now, first of all, let's be clear, 44% chronic absence is nothing to be proud of. It is nothing to cheer, and considering we came out of this era of remote learning where people were supposed to be out of school and all the different panics that were set in the state of California related to the virus, this idea that they would have a dramatic increase in in-person attendance or a dramatic decrease in the people who are really truant, to me, does not really bode well for this particular program, which appears to have no impact on attendance. Also, it's kind of rich to say that you hired this organization, which is all about politicizing education in order to achieve non-political goals, when again, this group is for profit and their whole entire purpose, as stated in their mission statement, is to indoctrinate people into radical left-wing beliefs. Let me just lay it out for you, as if the founders' beliefs that are instituted in the programs weren't obvious enough for you in writing so that you can see it for yourself. The for-profit education program aimed at elementary age students advertises itself as supporting children, families, educators, and organizations in their commitment to abolitionist early education and pro-black and queer and trans liberation. So let's be clear about this. As if the name Woke Kindergarten wasn't enough to give you red flags, this is not an organization that happens to have a radical, progressive, anti-American, anti-white, anti-Israel founder that is very publicly advocating for those positions. In fact, one of the things that you'll notice from that Instagram video specifically is that that's the official Woke Kindergarten Instagram. That is the business account. But in the curriculum, in their mission statement, they say that it is all 100% about politics. It's 100% about being anti-police, anti-white, anti-Western, and about decolonizing education and all these other idiotic buzzwords that, again, have nothing to do with math scores. And considering, and I'm spoiling this right now, that after this program was implemented, only 4% of the students are proficient in math, you would think that that would be the primary concern of this educational body. Yet they chucked your money out the door to these people instead, and now we have a bunch of kindergartners that hate America, think that America's full of evil white racism, but they can't actually read anything. They can't actually do math. They don't know what 2 + 2 is. All they know is that you even asking them that question is in fact white supremacy. Now, they actually have a series of videos called Anti-Israel, Zines, and Little Comrade Convos. It offers online materials such as woke wanderings, questions for students including, quote, if the United States defunded the Israeli military, how could this money be used to rebuild Palestine? And educational materials such as Free Palestine, a visual history, and another one that says, quote, so you made it to a protest, a sensory guide for kids. Now again, it is one thing to have older kids educated in United States foreign policy. It is one thing to have a curriculum that says the positives and the negatives of foreign aid policy or anything like that, which should be debated more in the United States of America because it's our money going to foreign countries. However, that is not what this is about. That is not about presenting both sides of the issue and allowing kids to critically think and come to their own conclusion. And by the way, this isn't even the argument that we have problems in the United States of America, so we shouldn't send money abroad. It's that we should take the money away from the Israelis, give it to the Gazans, and rebuild their society, do nation building for them, because for some reason, the Palestinians are entitled to United States tax dollars more than the Israelis and more than the American people, which I think is one of the most crucial aspects of this. It also tells kids to go to the protests. It tells them how to act in the protests, because this is about training activists, not about actually educating people, because again, the test scores do not lie. They are significantly worse than they were before, but at least your 5-year-old child knows that when she or he goes to a Palestinian protest, they're meant to block the road and stop people from taking their kids to the hospital, because that's all fine and dandy, because we all got to be concerned about what's going on in Gazastan. Now, they also have an entire section on the gay history, because you know your kids who can't do math, who can't read, need to learn about the histories of the gays, the in and outs of the gays and everything about them. And throughout the course of the curriculum, they call this country the so-called United States of America. Because spoiler alert, this is all anti-American propaganda being fed to your kids. Not to mention they have the little comrade section, which wants kids to imagine a world without money, a world without economy, because these people are also communists. And no, in no way, shape, or form should we be supporting this. In no way, shape, or form should we be paying for this. And yet your federal tax dollars are going to exactly this. Now, the curriculum also has a woke words of the day, according to the San Francisco Chronicle, which introduces children to a liberatory vocabulary to critique socio-political systems. Again, this is supposedly brought to the students for non-political reasons. In there is ceasefire, abolish, and strike, all reportedly terms the students must learn. Now, I already told you that the math scores in this particular school district dropped to just 4% proficiency after they implemented this program. And by the way, that's with more kids going into the school, because they said their absences, their chronic absences, are way down, meaning they're actually getting worse for being in school than they were when more kids were not being in school. But guess what? Their reading scores dropped down to 12%. 12% proficiency, again, in an area with a predominantly Hispanic population that should be relying on the public school system to aid them in learning English. Their reading scores are dropping even lower because they're more focused on teaching kids how to strike for an overseas conflict, how to fight back against the evil white supremacist capitalist system, and how to deny that the United States of America even exists. By the way, on this channel, we've done stories related to Libs of TikTok, where we've seen woke teachers who are pushing this agenda, inserting their own personal politics into the classroom. But this curriculum is so bad that even the usually Democratic-leaning faculty in a state like California are speaking out against it. Get a load of some of these quotes that are being put forward by these teachers talking about this program, which again, totally was not hired for political purposes, even though the entire intent of the program is to be political and to train students in order to be activists. Quote, as a teacher of Hayward Unified, I shouldn't have to get on the bandwagon of defunding the police or insulting our country. Another quote, woke indoctrination does not improve students' reading and math achievement, and instead it takes critical resources away from things that would have an impact. Donalds told Crisis in the Classroom, low-performing school districts should be spending money and time on proven reading and math intervention training, which prepare teachers to help students succeed academically. Once again, we see school district leaders putting their political agenda above what is best for the children, Donalds concluded. Now look, I'm in favor of trying different things, experimenting in education, but one of the things that we absolutely have to do is get the basics right. If you have kids that can't read, if you have kids that can't do math, then teaching the kids how to go riot for Gaza is not going to be a solution to that. Teaching the kids that the police are evil white racists and how they need to dismantle whiteness and how the United States isn't really a country and doesn't have a right to exist is not going to aid those kids. It's going to harm them specifically. This is a disaster in the making. And one of the things that I find so amazing about this is that here you have a majority Latino group of students right here that are failing so poorly. And a lot of hay has been made about this town in Florida that is about 95% Hispanic, 80+% Cuban, and all of the positive indicators in that group of students in that area in Florida. And the thing is, that is a cultural thing. When you have people like Cubans who fled communism, who buy into the American system, who believe in America, they succeed immensely. They are great and they perform greater than a bunch of other groups in the United States of America. However, when you indoctrinate them into this anti-American worldview, when you tell them that they're victims, that they can't do anything, that they don't control their own destiny, even the same group of people, Hispanics, now I know specifically they're not Cubans, so let me be clear about that, perform so dramatically poorly in comparison. So yeah, unsurprisingly, a program like woke kindergarten is exactly what you would expect, exactly what we've seen for years. A lot of people in mainstream media are reporting this as if this is a new thing. Go watch any of my 4 years old, 5 years old Stop K-12 Indoctrination videos, and you know that these programs perk up all over this country, and it's nice to see people finally push back. However, it's important for you guys to understand that these programs are absolutely everywhere. There's a reason why Ron DeSantis made such political hay fighting back against this in the state of Florida, because this is like a disease that is infecting our nation. But hey, those are just my thoughts. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you liked the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social medias, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about woke kindergarten. Till next time.